Today's lesson is Moses and the Exodus from Egypt.
Exodus!
So, first off, God talked to Moses, get the fuck out of here! It all started with Moses in a fucking burning bush. God came to Moses in a bush that was on fire and said, hey, lead your motherfuckers out of Egypt because you're being abused. Hey. Moses went to the Pharaoh and said, hey yo dude, let my people go.
Let people go.
I just want to start a new place called Israel. Pharaoh said, fuck you, no, you're my slaves, you're gonna do what I tell you, fuck you Moses, I'm not letting your people go. No motherfuckers, build more pyramids. Instead of letting the people go, Pharaoh said no, and Moses said, well you know what, we're gonna fuck you over. Plagues. And this is where they were started. There were 10.
That's why we have 10 hands and 10 fingers.
I don't think that's why we have 10 hands.
10 fingers.
Anyway, plague number 1. Water into blood. Personally, I think water into wine is much better, but God did not see that that was fit at the time.
Water into blood? I'd be like, okay, get out of here.
Here's my biggest question. How did the Israelites not get impacted with water into blood?
They probably did.
They were drinking blood too.
BAM!
BAM!
Oh,
And then all the water turned to blood, and then that fucking sucked. What are you gonna do? Number 2. What was another one?
Frogs.
Frogs. Oh, that would be a terrible plague.
Because if the water turns into blood, where are the frogs gonna go? They're
gonna come onto land.
Clearly.
And then they're gonna jump all over your shit. Lice was another plague. Terrible plague.
Fleas in my beard once.
Itchy head. All the wild animals became sick and died.
The firstborn died.
No, that was the very last one. You're getting ahead of yourself. That's what started Passover.
And then Pharaoh's like, get out of here.
Why did they care about the animals dying?
Because you have to eat animals. Egyptians weren't vegetarians.
Oh, flies.
Flies.
That one sucked.
Were there snakes or something like that?
There weren't any snakes. But God hardened Pharaoh's heart because he had to make it difficult for Moses and the Israelites.
Why didn't God just change Pharaoh's mind? He
likes to make his people suffer.
He likes a New Testament God. He's like, I'm going to turn some water into wine. We're going to have a party.
Yeah, water into wine instead of water into blood. So we got flies. That was the next one.
Was it the tsetse fly?
I thought that was in Africa. Egypt
oh my God!
We got boils.
Boils.
Boils. That was a terrible one.
We ain't talking about boiling your tea.
Oh! There was a storm of hail and fire.
Make up your mind.
And then there was darkness, and everything was dark. Dude, I'm running out of alcohol. After every plague, Moses went to the Pharaoh and said, hey, dude, let my people go, motherfucker. I want to get out of this shithole of a place. Egypt had magicians, and the magicians were like, well, I can do this too.
And they threw down their snake, stick, and it turned into a snake.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened.
Moses did that. He threw down, and then
it turned into a snake.
The magicians were like, "We can do that," and they're like, "We don't care. We don't care."
Yeah, no.
And then God's like, "Oh, you don't care? I'll turn your water to blood."
Old Testament God is a fucking asshole. Oh God.
And then there's boils.
Fuck a boil. I do not want a boil.
Ew.
Boils are. Job knows all about the boils. We'll talk about him later.
Shards. How
did these plagues not affect the Israelites?
Maybe they had a bubble, like a biodome.
Locusts! We forgot the locusts! Because locusts are different from flies.
John the Baptist.
And then the last plague, the most dangerous of them all.
The death of the firstborn.
The death of the firstborn. They put lamb's blood on their doors.
Yeah, Passover. They put the blood.
And so then the angel of death passed over the houses with the blood
on
of
the posts and the lintel.
The lamb's blood post.
Is lintel a fruit?
Pharaoh's firstborn son was about to die.
He did die.
Yeah,
all the firstborn.
They all died.
And so at that point,
Pharaoh was like, let your people go.
They went.
They go, and then Moses takes his staff, because this is a staff of God.
Yeah, but then Pharaoh was like,
hey!
Change his mind.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
That happened.
And Moses throws it down, and the Red Sea's part.
No, but see,
Hey!
the reason that was
The Red Sea is part, and then the Israelites go through, and they begin their trek to the other side of the Red Sea.
and there were whales. Did you see that Disney movie? There was a whale swimming in the water, and they looked,
Nathan.
and the whale was there.
That's not in the Bible.
It was in a Disney movie. That's pretty much the Bible.
As the Israelites are crossing through Moses' parted Red Sea, what happens?
Pharaoh was like, "Wait, I changed my mind." And then the Pharaoh
And the Egyptians went through.
they followed, but the Israelites crossed, and then God was like, "You know what? Shut this Red Sea."
Fuck you Egyptians. And God closed the Red Sea on top of them, and it destroyed them all.
Oh,
Get more!
Jesus! I spilled beer.